639-9797 and watch the live stream on the State Champs Network Facebook page. Once again, here are your hosts, Lauren Plant, Tom Rakowski, Kevin Moore, and Lauren Jubara.
All right, hey, everybody. Welcome back to the State Champs Scoreboard here on 97.1 The Ticket. We're here all the way through the state finals, so make sure you join us here every Friday night. Immediately following Tigers baseball, a little bit later in the season, of course, we'll be following Red Wings hockey. There'll be some days that we go right from 10 to midnight, so that'll be good. Next Thursday, just want to give you a programming note. We're going to be doing our show next Thursday from 10 to midnight right here, and we'll be coming in and talking about all the games that just took place on Thursday. And so that way, Tigers are away, and it's going to be like a really late game, so we wouldn't be starting till well after midnight on Friday, and we're not doing that. And we know you wouldn't be up for that, so we'll do it on Thursday night, and we'll kind of kick off your Labor Day weekend the right way with
most of the
high
good
school
games
football.
are on Thursday anyway.
Absolutely,
Better show.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, there are some good games. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show, and something that'll be coming up right before state finals. So the weekend before, it will be a very special television production that the State Champs Sports Network is doing. This is part of our State Champs Beyond Sports series, and we're taking a look inside Grand Rapids High School football. So it's going to be a fantastic show, and one of the guys that's helping me do that is going to be joining us here in just a second on the line. He's going to be on with us every week, but I do want to mention that coming up in just a few minutes, we are giving away another pair of Lions tickets to next Thursday's game against Buffalo, preseason football game. You want to win tickets, you will just have to hang with us just for a little bit. We've got actually 2 more pairs of tickets we're going to give before the show is over, so stick with us. We do appreciate it. But right now, let's go to the phone line for Terp's Take. We bring in State Champs executive producer like myself, Ryan Terpster, joining us now. And every week, we're going to talk a little West Side football. We definitely had some East-West action here going in the first weekend. What's up, Terp?
What's up, guys? I am here, and I am in 100% health. So nobody has to worry about anything.
Oh, my gosh.
So you didn't go canoeing on the Old Sable then?
I did not. I stayed home like a good guy and stayed off of
with
any
your
contaminated
family.
rivers in northern Michigan.
Have you ever heard of that?
I've heard of games getting canceled because of sicknesses before. I mean, sometimes things even happen in pro teams. I think you remember there's a staph infection problem not too long ago. But something like that, which sounds like to me was a getaway, maybe a bonding experience before the season, went totally wrong.
Wow.
And then turned out to be very, very contagious. If you remember, though, those heavy rains across the state last weekend might have overflown something and caused that. So
you think?
That's a good point.
A horrible situation, and puts a big question mark for Rockford out there, guys. I mean, Saline was 11-1 last year. That was a game that was definitely a toss-up. We haven't seen Rockford yet this year, and in week number 2 they get Lowell.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're already 0-1 in the hole. That's a big problem for a team that competes in the OK Red Conference, because you need to win some of your out-of-conference games because your in-conference is tough enough as it is.
Yeah, you got East Kentwood and Hudsonville and the rest. And
they add Caledonia this year, too, so don't forget about that.
Well, then that game's at Lowell, too, so that makes it even tougher.
All right, and Lowell with the big win tonight over De La Salle.
There's the transition I was looking for.
There you go.
Yes,
I'm with
Lowell 36-19 with the win over Warren De La Salle. And talking to my people on the west side of the state, this was an absolute vintage Lowell game. Lots of defense, lots of running the football. Now, Lowell averaged 43 points a game last year. They had a lot of offense to replace, though. Brand new quarterback, brand new running back, a lot of new guys on both sides of the ball. But David Cruz, their new quarterback, he's somebody Noel Dean talked to me about last year that he really, really liked. Young guy, left-hander. He carried the rock 25 times tonight, got 110 yards, scored a touchdown. Nate Stevens is a new running back. He ran for 105 on just 13 carries, so really efficient night for him. The Lowell defense actually played really well because all three touchdowns, I should say, from Warren De La Salle were off of Lowell turnovers deep in their own end. In fact, not a great start for the year for Alan Stringsinger, the commit to Syracuse. Held to 24 yards on 12 carries. Now, he did have 2 touchdowns against Lowell, but both of them were of the short variety. So the Red Arrow defense looking very strong once again to start this year. And that was a question for Lowell, is how they would respond after losing so many seniors off last year's state finalist runner-up squad. And they're doing it with defense and they're doing it with running the football. So I guess you can say business as usual from Lowell, who has Rockford next week. And it will be very interesting to see what kind of Rockford team shows up with guys recovering off of that mass illness.
Hey, Ryan, Lauren Jabbar here. I kind of want to know your opinion of Grand Rapids Catholic Central beating East Grand Rapids tonight.
Big home opener. They have been playing at Hausman Field and in the old Grand Rapids City League for a long, long time. Now they move over into the OK conferences and they celebrate it with a new facility. They were expecting around 10,000 people at this thing, and it really was big. And you know what? GRCC looked really good. They led 20-0 in that game before they ended up beating East Grand Rapids 27-6. East Grand Rapids, of course, in the first year after their legendary coach Peter Sturzmill went on to coach in college. So Grand Rapids Catholic Central is interesting. They have some good skill players. Todd Colster's back as the head coach there. And remember, he led them to a state championship his first go-around at Grand Rapids Catholic. This is a team that can make some noise in the middle divisions, and I would watch them this year, especially for a playoff run from the west side of the state.
And you know Colster wanted it too because he went to East Grand Rapids. So anytime he can win that game, it's huge.
These two fan bases don't necessarily like each other.
No.
So it was definitely a very emotional night given the opening of a new facility, but also when these two get together, it is a fight, and that was very interesting. And speaking of Catholic schools that do pretty well come playoff time, Grand Rapids West Catholic, your defending Division V state champions. This is a game they lost last year, but this year they open up and they beat Jackson Lumen Christi 30-13. So 2 classic programs going at it. That was a game that Lumen Christi won last season. Of course, West Catholic goes on and wins the state championship anyway. This year, West Catholic opening up and winning, and David Fox, a guy that had a very nice game in the state finals last year, once again their leader on offense in that game. So Grand Rapids West Catholic, I am really looking forward, guys, in a couple weeks when they play Zeeland West.
Yes.
Division IV and Division V state champions, defending state champions, I should say, meeting up in that one. Both of them starting the year 1-0.
What about Hudsonville? Do you notice their score?
They won.
Yeah, they won their opening game, and I'm really interested to see how they're going to do once again the OK Red play, Tom, because their turning point in every season is when they play Rockford and when they play East Kentwood. Right. Because Hudsonville has classically done well out of conference, but what they've got to worry about and what happens on the west side of the state is that Division I teams always end up playing each other again. Mm-hmm. And the Division I conference is the OK Red Conference. So what has happened the last couple of years is Hudsonville's made the playoffs, Rockford's made the playoffs, and East Kentwood's made the playoffs. Well, they turn right around coming off of league play, and they play each other again in the district.
And it's usually the team that lost during the regular season will win the playoff game.
Well, invariably, that's what's been happening. Home field hasn't really mattered much at all.
Not much.
It's very interesting because they're almost playing for playoff position in some cases. But I'll tell you, the OK Red has gotten harder this year with the addition of Caledonia moving into the conference. And it's going to be interesting to see how those teams shake out.
Yeah, I thought that was
while we're talking about west side teams, I'll just kind of jump down to a spot that maybe people don't think about as much on the west side of the state, but you talked about it a little bit with Alan True, and they were over on the east side of the state playing at Michigan. That's St. Joseph winning 26-0 over Kalamazoo Central.
Right.
Corey Malone Hatcher was hurt all of last year, and St. Joseph made it to the quarterfinal. So he was back for his first game of his senior season, finished with 7 tackles, 2 sacks. One of them was an intentional grounding for the safety, and another sack, he stripped the ball from the quarterback for a fumble. He had 4 tackles for loss, guys. This guy's a beast. No one is going to be able to handle him. And St. Joseph really rode their offense to that quarterfinal finish last year, and they once again showed a really good ground attack. They ran for 317 yards today. But if they've got that defensive playmaker on the side of the ball where opposing quarterbacks just do not have time to throw the football. They're going to be a very dangerous team, and I would be shocked if St. Joseph did not make another deep run this year and really actually challenge for a trip to Ford Field.
I think you're right.
Yep, absolutely. You can vote for Malone Hatcher at statechampsnetwork.com. He is a member of the Hungry Howies preseason and now first week of the season top candidates for Mr. Football. So go there, vote there, and vote often. And Ryan, thank you so much, man. We'll do it again every week.
Great to talk to you guys. Have an awesome
Thanks,
show.
Ryan.
All right. We'll catch up with you next week for sure. And again, it's always interesting to talk a little bit about the West Side teams because, guys, that's who they face in the playoffs a lot of times. So we want to keep all you high school football fans up to date with what's happening everywhere. You will be able to see the highlights of St. Joseph beating Kalamazoo Central on State Champs High School Sports Show this Sunday at 9 a.m. on Fox Sports Detroit. Can I get the sounder, please? That means we got some scores to update. Lauren.
Oh, yeah, we got a couple new scores for you guys. So Madison Heights Madison crushing Warren Lincoln 29-0, laying that goose egg over there. We have Ypsilanti Lincoln over Utica Ford 47-20, and Grand Blanc over Flint Carmen Ainsworth 49-25. And I also have some updates about the SC poll, too, if you guys want to hear that.
Yes.
Yeah, so the poll was which top 4 division team has the best chance of repeating as state champs in 2016. We had almost 300 total votes, and King and Orchard Lake St. Mary's are neck and neck. King has 39% of the votes. Orchard Lake St. Mary's has 38%. Zeeland West trailing behind with 13%. And Romeo tailing it off with 10% of the votes.
Yeah, well, I can expect a Romeo. I'm a little surprised with the King one.
Yeah, I am too.
Just because I think there's a lot of questions around King, and they have talent, but you have to have more than talent.
Yeah, we'll definitely find out tomorrow.
No doubt.
That'll be a big test.
We're going to preview some of the Saturday games that's coming up tomorrow. Tom's got some real interesting takes on that, so you got to stick with us. But first, before we go to break, we've got some Lions tickets to give away.
It is that time again, you guys. All my Lions fans out there, you have yet another chance to win a pair of tickets for the Lions Bills game at Ford Field on September 1st. We want to hear you guys call in 248-539-9797. The 5th caller will go home with the tickets. It's that easy, you guys. So again, call in 248-539-9797. We will announce that winner after the break. We want to hear from you. Coming up after the break, we talk to our friend Scott Bernstein about recruiting, and Tom previews the big games from tomorrow, Saturday. Don't go anywhere, you guys. You're listening to State Champ Scoreboard on 97.1 The Ticket.